Alrighty, welcome everybody back to the channel. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is David. I also go by Miller Football, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've done the sit down, talk while I show Twitter on the screen and I talk to the camera type of video before, but today this one's going to be a little bit shorter. We're going to be talking about the Bears most likely hiring Shane Waldron to be their offensive coordinator. It's not set in stone, that's why I'm saying most likely. As a Bears fan, I have been burnt by the Bears are expected to sign insert head coach, and then the report being false, and if you know, you know, right? So the Bears are most likely going to sign Seahawks offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to be their offensive coordinator, and I'm ecstatic about the move, so I wanted to sit down and give kind of my immediate thoughts on it. I say immediate, I've had all day to stew on it. I waited until late tonight to record it, but the point is, we're just going to talk about it real quick, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So Shane Waldron coming over from the Seattle Seahawks. So first things first, addressing the biggest elephant in the room, I don't think this move with Waldron necessarily alludes to Chicago going one way or the other at quarterback. Shane Waldron runs a better version of what Chicago has been running under Luke Getsy. So one could make the argument that he wants Fields and you're just going to make Fields learn a different version of the same offense under a better offensive mind, and also he has the experience with Geno, yada yada. On the other hand, Caleb Williams, this is the type of offense he'd be good in. Drake May, he'd be even better in this type of offense. So you can make the argument that Waldron wants a young quarterback to work with. That's why this job is so attractive, yada yada. I lean more towards the latter, but you can make the argument both ways. So the point here is, like, I don't think this directly says we're keeping Fields or we're going after a quarterback at number one. I think this is not only a really good signing for what we're going to get into talking about Waldron as a coach, but also because it doesn't tip your hand one way or the other. GMs across the league are going to look at this, and, if Ryan Poles is trying to, bluff that he wants to keep Fields, this isn't going to tip off other GMs. Whereas if he would have signed Greg Roman, it's like, oh, okay, so Fields is Chicago's guy. Or if they would have signed Clint Kingsbury, it's like, oh, Caleb Williams is Chicago's guy, obviously. So I think this is kind of like an added benefit of everything we're going to talk about, is the fact that you can technically go either way with it, and that's going to help Ryan Poles keep the trade value for Fields or the number one pick, whichever, as high as it can possibly be. Second thing to talk about, just to get this out of the way, I know there's going to be a lot of Seahawks fans that are going to come in the replies here and be like, oh, thank you for taking Waldron. You saved us. I've already seen people saying, I will personally drive Waldron to Chicago myself. Seahawks fans, right? And I've seen a lot of Bears fans getting upset about this, being like, oh my God, we hired a guy that his team didn't even like him. What's the point? Well, as Bill Zimmerman points out here, NFL Rulebook, page 112, paragraph 2, line 3, quote, every NFL fan base must hate their offensive coordinator. All offensive failures are the fault of the coordinator, and all successes are because of the skills of the quarterback. This is just football. Everybody hates their offensive coordinator. That's how this works. Unless the guy calling plays for your team is your head coach. You have a McDaniel, a McVay, a Shanahan, whoever. You hate the guy calling plays for your team. You hate your offensive coordinator. That's just how it kind of works. That's how NFL dialogue works, which that's a whole other can of worms, because it's so funny that, like, everybody hates their offensive coordinator, and then as soon as the offseason comes up, who are the hottest coaching candidates? They're always offensive coordinators. No one ever complains about their defensive coordinator, who doesn't get any attention when it comes to fans wanting a new head coach. The defensive coordinators. It's just funny. It's just wanted to throw that out there, because you are going to see a lot of Seahawks fans complain about this move, complain about this move in the sense that they don't think Waldron's good. You're going to see a lot of Seahawks fans excited about this move. And when you look at the numbers, I don't get it. So Brad Spielberger here, fantastic thread, talking about the Seahawks offense from 2021 until 2023. They were 12th in EPA per play, 44.4% success rate, which is 13th in the NFL. They were 8th in EPA per rush, 14th in EPA per dropback. He's been everywhere, right? He's coached with the Patriots under Belichick, the Rams with Sean McVay. He's done well with bad offensive lines. Some more numbers here. Let's just focus on the numbers. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on the numbers. Yards per play, 5.5. That's 6th in the NFL. Touchdown drive rate, 22.5%. That's 12th in the NFL. Series conversion rate, 30.3%. That's 11th in the NFL. Scoring drive rate when you're starting on your own 40 and inwards, 35.8%. That's 8th in the NFL. He's very pass-heavy, pass rate 63.3%, that's 9th in the NFL. Explosive play rate 14%, that's 9th in the NFL. Play action rate 25.9%, that's 14th in the NFL. A lot of RPOs you can see. I don't have to read off all these numbers. You can read them. RPO rates high, 12th in the NFL. Deep pass rate, 3rd in the NFL. Explosive run percentage, 5th in the NFL. Yards before contact per attempt, 9th in the NFL. Very heavy in outside zone, as well as inside zone, 5th and 13th in the NFL. There's a lot to like with what you're getting from Waldron, just based off the numbers, right? He runs an efficient offense that has room for explosive plays. We've seen the Seahawks be one of the most efficient deep ball teams in the league under Waldron. And they also run the ball effectively. This is huge. You're coming into Chicago where the run game's already good, right? Minimal work needs to be done there. It's just about making sure the quarterback play is good. And if nothing else, Waldron is 50 times better at that than Luke Getsy. Even if you don't think he's fantastic at it, he is substantially better than Luke Getsy at it. So it is progress. It is a move in the right direction. I think Waldron's awesome, but, there are some flaws here, as Brad Spielberger points out. Seahawks aren't great at converting on 3rd down. They're 23rd in the league. But they are 2nd in the NFL in converting first downs into a new series, and they're also good on 2nd down, which we'll get into in a moment. Red zone touchdown rate, they're 51.5%, which is 26th in the NFL. Again, not great, but he's a really good coach. And, as he points out here, the transition from Russ to Geno in Seattle was flawless. Was that all Waldron? No, Dave Canales played a big part in that, but Waldron was calling the plays. He was the one running the offense. He has been doing a fantastic job. If we go over here to this thread, this is the Seahawks offense last year, specifically on 1st and 2nd down, as Brad Spielberger pointed out. Not great on 3rd down, but on 1st and 2nd down, they were 4th in EPA per play, 5th in success rate, 2nd in EPA per dropback, and 5th in dropback success rate, right? All fantastic numbers. 3rd down, not so much. We're looking at in the 20s. But as pointed out in this thread here, the big difference is the Seahawks offensive line was not great last year. There were some injuries. There were some guys just not playing up to where they're supposed to be. If the Bears can reel in a good offensive line, which is very possible, you've got some good building blocks. You've got Tevin Jenkins and Darnell Wright, who are awesome. You've got Braxton Jones, who I know is a bit, kind of 50-50 with Bears fans. I like Braxton Jones, but I guess if you're in a position to get like Olu or Joe Alt, sure, pull the trigger, right? You need a center. You need a guard. And the guard really is just for depth because Nate Davis is fine. You just need somebody to be there because Davis and Jenkins both missed time. But you need a center. So if you get a center, you're already working with an offensive line that was substantially better than what the Seahawks had last year. And Shane Waldron, when he's able to hide his offensive line and open up his playbook, as this thread fantastically points out, he's an awesome coordinator. He's one of the most creative, innovative minds in the sport. It's just a matter of getting him the right tools. The Bears are in a position to do that, which is why I'm sure this coordinator job was so attractive to him. You're going to be able to do that. You're going to get him his quarterback of choice, most likely, or at the very least, he'll get a say in the quarterback situation. I'd imagine the final say is up to Poles because his job's going to be on the line with it, but, he'll get to pick between Fields, Williams, or May. I would assume it's going to be between Williams and May, and that's a whole other conversation for another time. Although I do believe I have some stats pulled up for that. We can talk about that in a moment. Yeah, I do. This here from Kari Thompson kind of alludes to what I was getting at with the whole May and Williams here. So Waldron had both Geno Smith and Russell Wilson getting the ball out quicker. Geno's time to throw was above 3 seconds his first 2 years start with the Jets. With Waldron, it was under 3 seconds. Russ is obviously a career 3-second plus guy. With Waldron, it's 2.78 seconds. Getting the ball out quick is pretty important in this offense. Am I saying Caleb Williams can't do that? No, not at all. He absolutely can. But Caleb Williams' time to throw, well, I don't have the number pulled up in front of me, was very large in college. It was a very high number. Justin Fields is even higher. Justin Fields, wipe him out of the equation for this, right? Caleb Williams, his time to throw was astronomically high. And that's not because he holds onto the ball and can't read the defense. It's because he was trying to run around, make something happen out of nothing because he had very little help. Can you reel that in? Absolutely. Drake May had a lower time to throw, and I've said on here plenty of times, 1A, 1B with him and Williams. So I do think there's a world where maybe Waldron might want Drake May more, and that excites me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm obviously in favor of both quarterbacks. I think they're both going to be incredible, but food for thought, right? I said it on Twitter earlier talking about this kind of stuff. The real debate that Bears fans should be having right now is Caleb versus May. not Caleb versus Fields, not who do you take. Caleb versus May is the real debate. It's the more fun debate, and it's the debate that matters more because Fields isn't coming back. We just brought in a new offensive coordinator. Do you really think he's going to tie his career to Justin Fields when he's had this many issues? Like, he had more job security in Seattle because obviously Pete Carroll was a big fan of him. And it was the first year after Russ, so it was like, okay, if this year doesn't work out, you turn it around, get a high draft pick, draft a quarterback, run it back, right? This situation, it's like, okay, you can do that with Fields, but you'd be missing out on two like borderline generational quarterbacks, and that would be pretty unforgivable. So, just food for thought with that, right? Either way, I'm really excited about Shane Waldron for stuff like this in particular. You see you've got the tight ends here lined up in the backfield as lead blockers for Ken Walker. Go ahead and take a look at this play. Let it run here. This is something that I can absolutely see the Bears running with, like, Cole Kmet out here, Kari Blasingame on the inside, and then this being whoever at halfback. I don't know what the Bears backfield is going to look like after this year, because I don't foresee Deontay Foreman coming back, and I think the Bears need to add another lead back because I don't trust Herbert to be a lead. And Roschon Johnson, while I like him a lot, I think you want to see more out of him, so I do think the Bears will add some talent to the backfield. Or, who knows, maybe this could be like Velus Jones or something, right? Either way, I'm really excited about Shane Waldron. He's going to be a substantial upgrade from Luke Getsy, and that's kind of the key here. It's the exciting part about this. But the reason I wanted to make this video was just to get those thoughts out, because usually I'd make like a TikTok or something about this, and I didn't want to have to constrain myself on time, so I figured I could yap a little bit on here, do a quick upload, and then continue on with my normal upload schedule. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you like the Waldron hire? Is there someone else you would have rather have had? Let me know. We can have a conversation, all that good stuff. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Helps out the channel a ton, shows your support, shows your care, all that good stuff. Also, make sure to subscribe for more NFL content. There's going to be more stuff that's more reined in, scripted, all that kind of stuff. There's still going to be more Yap sessions like this, and some Madden stuff, just to fun a ton of NFL content coming your way over the offseason. Definitely won't want to miss that. But yeah, to everyone out there watching, I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it, because you're all wonderful people, and you deserve it.